Hello everyone, my name is Beacondon, and this will be a series of 3 playthroughs through Final Fantasy XIV's main story quest. I've already played through it once before, and have 3 other characters currently in Stormblood or through Heaven's Ward's patch content. But the point of this is to run through this in both English and in French, to explore the differences in localization. I can already tell you that a certain scene it hits a lot worse in French than it does in English, but I won't be spoiling it. One run through will be in English voices and subtitles, another will be in French voices and English subtitles, and the third will be the reverse. This one is going to be English and English only.
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Hey you! You alright, lad? In the morning, something fierce out there. Feeling the effects of ether, I reckon. You'll get used to it, though, don't worry. You there, halt! What's this all about? Inspection. Then search the carriage. I'm just an honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your old tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, look, Somnus! Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Ah! A Malta! A Malta! To arms! To arms! Setbacks. Consider this a warning. Now, go! All on! That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them brass blades, lad. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Think that the gods were sending some beastmen to rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we have still a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company until we arrive? Them young'uns, they don't care much for conversation, see? Brent's the name. Peddling's betrayed. And judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager you're one of the new adventurers. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call a living. So as long as people are dying, I mean, ain't no secret in adventure is a risky business. These days, especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? I ain't hard pride. Might as well be us old Brent's a chatterbox that he sure as hell ain't no busybody. We all have a secret or two, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stayed secret too, which is why I don't go sticking me nose where I ain't welcome. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune or glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? No. But of course, it ain't. Still, this might be as this journey into it has a few new things to teach about the association. Ul'dah is ruled by the Sultantree name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would be happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists. And the Royalists aren't nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing their weight over the wealth against each other, and they show no stand in stopping. Of course, the Lizardmen, that's the Malta. They couldn't care less about the Ul'dah politics. They have their own interests, see, and they aren't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gifted peddlers, he bring profit. And though it shames me to say, I'm inclined to agree. Last. Behold Ul'dah, jewel of Dynamite, folk turns into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises, a solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance, her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Ul'dah maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lad. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's off to onto the high road for me. Yeah, I want you to have this, by way of things of putting me up with me prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Oi, Venture, over here. I mean you. Fresh off the carriage, right? Any chance? How can I tell? Name's Waremont, and my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by the way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge, even. Just as once like. It's plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. I let you go wandering down the nearest dark alley, you'll certainly get mugged or worse, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can send you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. And that's as much as you gain for free. Good luck with the adventure. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it please you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you that it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Ul'dah, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, but only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but beneath it all there's worry. Worry and lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's been scarce 5 years since the Lesser Moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an 8th hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. 'Twas like the end of the world had come at last. But then things began to get foggy. Everyone has got their version of what happened next. Some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people remember something like that, but the fact is, they don't. Nobody does. There's one thing that the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives in a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. It's worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame that our recollections of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten. And so we call them warriors of light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask is you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'll be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, promise is a promise now. I'm counting on you to help put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and a prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. And keep well. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. Alright, Mr. Wall. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir. Please, merciful. As to all those I meant... As my wish, I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a 4th chance to offend. You two intended to scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Not an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Don't go bother me every time you stub it, buddy, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing of gentlemen's woes and with women folk from time to time. Any road, welcome to Ul'dah Camp. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you about our little fair city. Before charging off to country fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. You get there, head west from here until you reach Emerald Avenue, then to the north. You see a giant floating crystal called Lincoln. From Armor-free authorized travel area, Soria would be a damn sight more trouble than it is. Of course, you still need to tune them with them before you can use them, so be sure to do that before you put one in a closet. Have you ever tuned with an Aether before, Henry? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Thaumaturge's Guild, over in Arzenath Ossuary. Assuming the scepter isn't just for show, you might consider training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the steps of Thal. Goods from all over across Asia and beyond turn up there every day. You'll find no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else like you're pledging an adventure like yourself like that. You might say everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you got the guild. Just make sure you don't pay more than you ought. There's plenty that won't be scrupled to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for the best interests. So I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga to give it to you. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's with. In short then, visit the Aetherite Plaza, the Thaumaturge's Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, and before you go, a word of advice. While there are more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try to take advantage of you, there are also some honest-to-goodness problems you should consider offering heavily rate. A lot of folk are lured to the city about the promise of wealth and power, but many of them fail to realize that instead of chasing them after kill the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that if you're willing to give as much as you get, and the opportunities will come. Speaking of which, you should speak to the Smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it for me. It's past time you get going. Oh, and let me know when you finished, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a guild to your name. And you are? Oh, a newly come adventure, of course. Yes, I am Cesaroga. What can I do for you? You would have me teach you the ways of the marketplace? Very wise. As for my fee... What? You expected me to do it for free? Surely you jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask Ul'dah for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services. But the fact you offer nothing is laughable. Oh, Mr. Smith, Momodi instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have such influential friends. I shall be brief, and you shall be attentive. You stand at this Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultantree. Being advantageously situated in relation to other city-states, Ul'dah's markets have ever served as both the literal and figurative centers of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to our city, and the majority of maritime trade between Filbrand and Alramad passes through our ports. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Ul'dah as their base of operations. They see to it that this marketplace is washed with merchants and moneylenders day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided he has sufficient funds. Surely there's something you seek, adventurer. Deadly a sword, perhaps, or a shiny trinket. Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north, you'll find merchants peddling armor and accessories, curatives, and crafting materials. And to the south, you'll find weapons, tools, and an assortment of other useful items for sale. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but Do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of the moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my guest. My regards to Momodi. Now, off of here. Welcome to the Thaumaturgist Guild. Welcome to the Thaumaturgist Guild. It is a fate that has guided your steps here to this day, my friend. I see you harbor arcane ambitions, though your journey has scarcely begun. Within these hallowed halls, the arts of devastation are taught, primeval magics with which to bring about an enemy's ruin. We join our ranks and wield such power, you must needs know of our beginnings. The nation of Ul'dah was inherited its traditions from the ancient Belladia, a city founded by the descendants of the first mages. The secrets of these illustrious sorcerers were ultimately entrusted to the priests of the Order of Ul'dah, who have passed them down from generation to generation ever since. Focused and refined over the centuries of the use of the Order's Focused and refined over centuries of use in the Order's funereal rites, the arcane magic of our ancestors eventually merged to as the art we now know as thaumaturgy. A freezing blizzard to halt corruption and a raging fire to cleanse the corpse, a bolt of lightning to expel the sins of mortal life. The dwellers employed in the preparation of the dead are equally efficacious when applied to the living. It is for this reason that we are feared and respected in equal measure. Thus does our guild thrive, ensconced in the catacombs of the Arzen at the Osirian, a sanctuary devoted to Thaw, the divine arbiter of the afterlife. What say you then, adventurer, if you would plumb the abyssal depths of thaumaturgy, let our learned sages guide your descent. Before you leap into the darkness, you must prove to our guildmasters you are possessed with the spiritual fortitude necessary to look upon them which way is within. Therein, when you are ready to submit the judgment of our most eminent mages, say the word. Well, adventurer, will you join a guild, or do you presume to ignore the urgings of impatient destiny? A wise decision, indeed. To prepare you for your initiation, I would have you study the volumes of the fundamental thaumaturgical principle, all 108 of them. Or at least, I would if such requirements had not been abolished. Too great a deterrent to fresh novices, they said. Suppose you just have to settle for calling upon the collective wisdom of our guildmasters. We have 5, you see, all brothers of the same house. Though they all wield supreme authority, it is the eldest who provides a singular voice with the guild when one is required. Master Kokobijo, I believe. Who? What? Oh, false thief, man. Did your mother never tell you not to start a thaumaturge? Look at the expected face, Kokobijo. The gentleman is obviously a new applicant for the guild, seeking audience with our eldest brother. Oh, pray that she can recite the 307 verses of the funerary rites of the virtuous fallen from memory, but a simple task of keeping our names straight seems ever beyond her grasp. I, for one, find the constant confusion and the shame. My apologies, good sir. My memory is not meant to mock your mistake. It is us labeling Kokobuki with whom you should speak. What's this? Great Thal has led us to a new aspirant. Ah, Kokobuki. Were you here the entire time? Greetings, child. I am Kokobuki, eldest, and I would venture to say, the wisest. Of the 5 masters of the Thaumaturgy Guild. It is my solemn duty to furnish our would-be initiates with a succinct understanding of our beloved art. Thus, I would have your fullest attention. To wield thaumaturgy is to unleash devastation of the highest magnitude. The lethal force of our spells far exceeds the destructive capability of any other form of arcane manipulation. Fire, lightning, blizzards, somnolence. Thaumaturge calls upon an expansive arsenal of offensive incantations that capacitate and obliterate all manner of adversaries. Open your mind to our sources' teachings, and you, too, shall soon hold the unparalleled power and discipline at the palm of your hand. Of course, such great power has a price. You must be willing to plunge headfirst into the forbidding chasm of the thaumaturgy's secrets, for the advancement of this art comes only with the completion of deadly and terrible trials. I ask you now, aspirant, are you prepared to leap into the abyss of pursuit of power unrivaled? Yes, I am. Confident response. Your name, if you will? Enki. Very well, Enki. Let us mark your initiation with a trial to test your limits of your aptitude in channeling thaumaturgy. Huge hornets, star marmots, and snapping shrews inhabit this land in abundance. Exercise your sorcerer's might and slay 3 of each of these creatures before returning to my side. Judge me by my stature, do you? Do not be so dismissive once I ensorcel you with somnolence and scrawl obscenities of my faith with demon binding. Ha! The shiver raw power thaumaturgy is potential to cause lethal devastation, though I suppose that is what most practitioners of the art have as not. Yes, cast without constraint, my courageous colleagues. Draw upon the dwellers of dire destruction. We gather here in the ground. Thal's Hall of Worship to study the mysteries of thaumaturgy. I ask that you maintain a modicum of quietude. Hmm? Oh no, not for us. We could care less how loud you are. It's Priestess Mamaine, you see. She's very strict about accessibility, so... So you wish to peer into the abyss of thaumaturgy? I am the Piercing Eye, the Duke of Destruction, the Archmage of Annihilation. Well, most of my colleagues simply call me Kokubuki. Of the 5 thaumaturgist brothers I claim the title of Guildmaster, I am the eldest. I offer guidance to those wishing to explore this ditching chasm of our discipline and to instruct aspirants in the art of arcane devastation. It is also my role to encourage the accumulation of thaumaturgical wisdom through both theoretical study and practical application. Ours and Athasia is a sacred structure where mortals may seek favor of Thal, the arbiter of the afterlife. For in death we must all abide by Thal's final evaluation of our existence. Those deemed to have led lives of richer virtue are rewarded with greater comfort for their eternal souls. I urge you to consider making a donation and enhancing your virtue, thus ensuring a golden paradise for your time in the realm or beyond. Greetings, traveler. I am Yaya Roku, priest of the Order of Nabthal. What brings you to this hallowed halls? Who's Nabthal? Nabthal, also known as the Traders, the arbiter of the afterlife and commerce, is the manifestation of the twins Nald and Thal. Each oversees a separate but significant aspect of existence. Nald oversees the financial fortunes of the living, while Thal weighs the worth of the departed. Our orders differ to the rich with the traders. Yet we share the wisdom of the faithful and teach them within the means to attain virtue in this life, so they may find peace in the next. Hail, adventurer! And you have come at the best of Miss Momodi of the Crescent. Excellent. Which brings us to the matter of your attunement fee. That'll be 100,000 gil, if you please, sir. Apologies. I do so relish the opportunity to make you that jest. Look on your face was absolutely priceless. Ah, but the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of aetherites. Allow me to explain. Crystalline agglomerations tap into the ethereal engine, he said, primarily used as a means of travel swiftly from one place to another. Perhaps you've heard of return and teleport? Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the aetherites and the connection to the flow of the ether. Given that there is an aetherite in almost every corner of the area, any adventurer with the mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune with himself to each and every one. But even if you had no intention of wandering beyond the Sultan's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any aetherites you encountered from now on. Pray that you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about the aetherites of transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Oh wait. I'm missing one? Oh, I'm missing an iron skill. How was the tour of the city, Aunt Kip? Get lost, did you? Aye, well, Ul'dah's a big place with lots to see and do. But wandering around aimlessly don't pay the bills. If you're seriously concerned about making a living here, you'll need to remember where things are. So when you go exploring, explore like you've got a purpose, eh? Alright then. All that's left for you is to hard work, make money, and spend it here at the quicksand. Well, young man, how are you finding Ul'dah then? Got your bearings about you yet? If so, maybe some you ventured around beyond the city walls. The bustling streets of Ul'dah are one thing, but the wilds of Thanland, that's another altogether. I know a bloke you might fancy speaking to, and you, name of Papashan. You'll find him at the Ul'dah dispatch yard. No doubt he'll have some word for you. The dispatch yard's over in central Thanland. Just head out the door across the hall, and you'll see the gate of Nald staring right back at you. Pass it and head east. You'll come upon it before long. It's dangerous beyond the wall, though. More than I care to count. Nothing too terrible, mind you, but feisty enough to attack if you draw near. Don't say nobody cared to warn enough to warn you. You have the satisfied look of a mage who suddenly vanquishes foes. And keep I follow you formally welcome you to the Brotherhood of Thaumaturges. The purpose of this trial was to gauge your capacity for wielding thaumaturgy, an innate quality the limits of which are bounded by the level of etheric energy flowing through your physical being. Ether, the very stuff of life, exists with all living creatures to a great or lesser extent. Remember this, for it is the most basic law of arcane manipulation. Now, I have here a tome that shall serve you as a hunting log. As the name suggests, pages are filled with records for any enemies you slay. The log also contains the names of such adversaries that will challenge and improve your skills as a thaumaturge. As your experience grows, so shall your reserves of thaumaturgical endurance. And speaking of your magical might will also swell in response to the moments of extreme terror and duress. When you find yourself seeking greater challenge, when next you crave the thrill of exquisite fear, that is when you shall know the time has come for you to visit me once more. You certainly look the part of adventurer, my friend. What should be the good soul Momodi advised me to expect, I am Papashan, station master of this humble dispatch yard. An empty title, I assure you. I'm truly no more than a tired old Lalafell passing his final years in quiet and solitude. 12 know how that I've made plenty of both these last 5 years since the calamity struck. The devastation was vast. Yet, now two Uldahs work together, doing all our power to rebuild what was laid to ruin. By the sweat of our brows and the love of our home, we have rebuilt Ul'dah to a grander majesty that you see together today. The railway that which runs to the dispatch yard, too, were born of noble efforts of great many souls. But there's still much work to be done. The wounds left by the calamity run deep. Isolated areas beyond our lines of supply remain, and there are places yet wanting for relief and restoration. Ul'dah needs the aid of you and your brethren, friend. In fact, never has our need been more dire. Which brings me to the point, I suppose. I do believe I may have some work for one suited of your ability. Since you've come all this way, perhaps you can perform an errand for me. It just so happens that a number of sentries have been sent out to guard the area. The dispatch yard, as it were, have been a long way from the shade and feathered beds of the city. The hot days and cold nights can pay hells on the mind and body out here. It isn't much, but go give them these twilight pretzels, would you? I find comfort food always helps when I feel like killing myself. Halt! Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to put the pretzel on the ground and push your head to the head. Sit your name and business. Toilet preppers, pretzel from Papashan? But the gods forgive me. I'd say this new post has my nerves in a twist. I am sorry for that. Yes, well, you may rest assured that the dispatch yard is safe as long as it's time watch. Please give Papashan my thanks. Until him, I can only wish I could repay the favor. Scorching days, crazy nights, post with the end of it. Toilet pretzel. Don't mind if I do. Ah, there's a professional goddamn pretzel. I feel reborn. Western front clear, eastern front clear. For me, for Papa John, a twilight pretzel. My favorite. How did he know? Can't find it on an empty stomach now, can I? Actually, I can't find it on any stomach. I suppose you could say I have no stomach. For Friday. You've returned with a few pretzels, I see. Tell me, how far are Sultan, Sworn, and sentries? Do you have anything to report? Anything at all? What? Nothing? Are you sure? Oh dear. Take this 3 troubles then, and stay a moment. There's more I'd like to ask of you. Keep it. I have just this moment. No, not time for concealment is past. Truth is, even before I had you deliver those pretzels, I was privy to some most unsettling news. Which is the real reason I sent you to meet those Sultan Sworn. A young noblewoman of a very prestigious family has run away from home, and I've been ordered to see her safe return. The Sultan Sworn you met earlier are assisting with the search. Alas, it seems they have found no trace of her. I apologize for not being frank with you from the start. We must proceed with caution. Should word of her disappearance spread, fear others will be with less honorable motives may do that. And should we allow her to come to any harm, not even 100 beheadings would be punishment enough. That cannot happen. It must happen. I need you to help me find her. I know I could count. I've instructed the others to expand the search, but Battleland is vast and there are only so many of us. The young woman's name is Lady Lily. I want you to go south and look for her in the city of the Sultantree. Good luck. Ul'dah's come a long way since the climb. Facing the terrible destruction of panic-filled bandits to get the real build our great nation. These tracks to stretch across Battleline are testament to that resolve. Beholding them fills me with burgeoning power strengths and confines of every untried mortal shell. Another trial you must have. From this day forward, your task and challenges will be shaped by the teachings of found within Thaumaturgy the Young Abyss, a tome penned by the renowned Thaumaturge Zozamaya. My brothers, who have not once tasted the bitter draught of defeat, will instruct you on the vital lessons to be gleaned from the 4 extensive chapters that comprise this exemplary work. Much shall you learn from the threats with the practitioner of art must contend. First chapter, the threat of intimacy, falls within Kokobijo's purview. It is only fitting that one so averse to being approached should teach you the wisdom of being comforted therein. Yes, I'm good. Didn't expect that. to read you the pertinent passages from the opening chapter of Zill's Man's Guide. The threat of interest. Ah, how magnificent the potent power we wield. Roaring flames, piercing ice, and shocking bolts are matched not by fist or sword or spear, but the burly warrior waxes fearsome with every closing step. Fists shatter bone, blades slide through flesh, spears puncture soft bellies. Know you this threat and strand you apart from such men. Oh, that last part makes me queasy no matter how often I recite it. The lesson, however, should be obvious. Keep your distance from your foes. Apart from the agony of being hit, or stabbed, or worse, you'll have a devil of a time completing a incantation with an enemy flinging his weapons at your person. Thus, the wise thaumaturge always starts from afar. The farther the better. Now let us proceed with the trial. Take this dried fish and set it down in the vicinity of the Silver Bazaar. Next, simply draw back into a comfortable distance and wait for the vulture to swoop in and feed. That's when you ambush the nasty creature with a barrage of deadly spells. Once you've slayed the scavenger, be sure to retrieve a generous slice of vulture meat for Fafafona. He doesn't mind us conducting trials so close to the shop, so long as he is properly compensated. Yes, and we pay him in sorcery blasted bird flesh. Regardless of the origins, even adventurers have the right to purchase. Just imagine, the entire area could end up owned by wealthy foreign... beg your pardon, sir. It isn't that I dislike adventurers, far from it. When you consider Ul'dah is still struggling with countless refugees, the idea that this land is being sold for profit is... not surprising whatsoever. Still, the least they can do is give a preferential treatment for hardworking Uldahs like me, sitting for years just for an opportunity for like this to come along. Say, you wouldn't happen to be curious as well, would you? About the goblet? My hands are full here, but if you have a moment to head that way and look into this auction business on my behalf, I'd ever be so grateful. There's bound to be an immortal flames represented by the gates of the goblet who can explain what's going on. This wouldn't happen without General Bond's approval of that, which I'm sure. try hiring a chocobo porter, I suppose. If you keep looking to hire a chocobo porter, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Birds are very fickle creatures and tend to become agitated and with a certain lack of demeanor. Return once you have proven you can handle yourself, and I will personally see that you can assign our best. You're done making use of my testing grounds, are you? Cough up the fee, then. There's nothing so tender as a bit of meat pummeled with wanton wizardry. Nice doing business with you, thaumaturge. Did you just say thaumaturge? Has this mage completed a guild trial? Ah, Mr. Alchemist, what brings you to our bazaar this fine evening? This gentleman here just threw himself a plump vulture. Be surprised at how many of these scepter-wielding sorcerers end up sliced to ribbons by beacon talon. And that's not the sort of flesh I have to taste for, you understand. Brothers, not again. Oh, there they are. Heard about the auctions, have you? You're not the first to approach me in this eve. Aye, 'tis true, an effort to encourage immigration to a great nation. All lands within the goblet are said to be to be set aside for adventurers like yourself. Tragic, some might say, but that only adventurers will be permitted to settle within its wards. But such decisions will obey my men wiser than I. A beautiful place, the goblet, a man-made oasis, built atop a towering tribute. But why bother explaining when you can see it for yourself? Let's head through these gates and follow the road. If you wish to know about the goblet, speak with the recruit station best past the entrance. He'll be happy to assist you. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Goblet. Beg your pardon, an Ul'dah woman asked you to learn more about the auctions. Oh dear. As you may have heard, the spots are reserved exclusively for adventurers. Since your friend is an Ul'dah citizen, she's ineligible to participate. Should you find yourself have a mind to purchase the plots, pray speak to the resident caretaker. He can guide you through the process. You've returned. Tell me, what have you learned of the auctions? What do you mean it's reserved exclusively for adventurers? I mean, sure, times are tough and every nation's scrambling to attract formidable fighters. But what about my needs? What about my 40 archers and a chocobo? It's just not fair. Ah, welcome back, Kip. You seem to have done well. Both eyes intact. Face appears unshredded. It is truly the most terrible feeling to have one's casting interrupted by a heinous injury. It's one of the easier trials if you ask me. Keep away from the pointy, slashy, bashy things if you want to reach the end of an arcane utterance. That's just common sense. Fortune favors the fighter who flings fire from afar. Let's read that again. Fortune favors the fighter who flings fire from far. I simply love the look of loathing leveled at me by the distant duelist distressed by my deadly downpour. We thaumaturges excel at offense, but fail miserably at defense. Most effective strategy is to topple our adversaries who are with overwhelming force before they have the chance to respond. Honors for knights and dead mages. And keep your studies appear to be progressing nicely. It won't be long before you dominate the battlefield with an avatar of a sorcerer's destruction. So it's true, Boogie. Don't try to hide it from me, Bigo. Are you banning or Bezzy or Boha? Kokobusi? What are you doing here? You promised you would teach me next. Well, yes, of course you did, Boosie, but Amkip here was the most insistent. Once again, you brushed me aside in the hope that I'd abandon my heart's desire. Why do you deny me? I hate you, all of you. Please, Boosie, you shouldn't say such hurtful things. You know how delicate Bigo is. That was Kokobusi, our youngest brother. He so dearly wishes to become a thaumaturge like the rest of us, but it simply isn't possible. The poor boy's etheric levels are pitifully low. We thought he had convinced him to accept fate's cruel quirks when he entered the Alchemist Guild, but he yet yearns to walk the path of thaumaturgy. Such is Kokobusi's determination, and he spends all his waking moments experimenting with alchemical concoctions, seeking methods by which you can bend his capacity for arcane manipulation. Well, obviously this is not your concern. Back to the abyss with you, young thaumaturge, and I mean that in the most encouraging manner possible. Ah, yes. The Viera's curse of not being able to wear hats. There. Oh, looks like we are at my first stopping point. So the game plan will be, the next playthrough will be doing the next parts to wherever it goes to, and then the next character will be picking up. This will be my Gridania character, and they'll get to the similar point here, and it'll just progress from there. It's going to be each portion can be in tiers, if you will. So each character is only at the preceding step. Alright. That's it for this character.